Good morning, Miss Wright. How are you today?
Good morning. How are you?
We are all doing well. We are just overwhelmed with excitement because you've taken time out of your schedule to join us today. So we're so glad that you carved space in your schedule for us. We want to begin today with a video
Mhm.
that you've done just to make sure that we establish a foundation for those who may not be as familiar with all of your wonderful work and your contributions. And when the video ends, we will transition into the interview portion where I will ask you a few questions and then we will take questions from the audience. So we'll go
Okay.
ahead and get started with the video. And Steve, I'm handing it off to you.
I'm here. We're here with the 2020 Bayou Soul Youth Literary Conference with Toya Johnson and her family. And I'm really excited about this, Toya, because one thing that I've admired about you is the fact that you have turned your life and the pain and the things you went to into a successful writing career. And not only have you written books, but your entire family, your mother, your daughter, your sister, your brothers have all written books. That is very unique. To have an African American family all writing books. That is not something that you see every day. So we wanted to definitely stop by and talk to you all about what led to this phenomenon of everybody wanting to write in one family. That's interesting. So Toya, you have turned your pain and life experience into a successful writing career. What motivated you to start writing about your life in the first place?
Well, what motivated me to get into writing? Like, my journal was like my best friend. So I used to journal a lot growing up because I really, it was hard for me to express myself to other people without being judged. So I felt like, coming up, how I came up and, what people know, like the group of people that knew about my mom and my dad and me living with this person, that person. So when I feel a type of way, like I didn't have no one to talk to. So my journal was, I always went to my journal. After like years passed, I started to see my growth. Like, okay, you've been through this, you've been through that, you've been through this. Then it got to the point where I got teen pregnancy over, I, had my daughter, try to be the best mother I can be, while still in school, doing different things like that. And then, dealing with marrying someone that was in the public eye and, going through a public breakup and losing loved ones and just all the different, obstacles and different things that I've been through. I decided to turn my journal into a book. But never in a million years I thought that my journal would become a New York Times best-selling book.
Right.
I was like, oh, this is amazing. So I just kept writing. It's just a form of expression. And then, I found it to be very therapeutic.
Wow,
So.
very interesting. And how has the writing helped you to heal from what you've been through?
I mean, I feel like I said, it's very therapeutic. So me writing and expressing myself, I feel like it helps me feel better. Like it helps me to get over things. Like, of course it don't happen overnight, but it's a form of releasing. I feel like everyone should write. Like whether it's just journaling, if you don't want to turn your journal into a book, I feel like it's still a good way to express yourself. Whether it's writing poems, many stories, or whatever. Like it's a good form of expressing yourself. So I encourage everybody, even, my family. That's why everybody basically got into writing books because I feel like everybody have a story. Make yours a bestseller.
There's a lot going on in the world today. As y'all know, COVID has killed a lot of people in this country. We have hatred and protests and racism. What do you feel? I think because at the time this conference is going to air in a couple of weeks, that's still going to be going on. What would be the message to people out there, particularly young people, who may be dealing with and struggling with through these issues, and maybe thinking about writing, or what advice would you give them in terms of just in general about getting through these times, and maybe turning to writing or a book to read to get through it?
I would say like we are going through some, some tough times right now between racism and, you know, the pandemic, and, you know, it's a whole lot of different things that we are going through. So it's a lot of stress that's on a lot of people. You know, I recommend, highly suggest, like, you know, writing during these times. Like, people are going out protesting, they're being a part of history. Like, you know, like they're standing up. Like now it, like you are creating history too. Like you're in it. So now is the time to write about it. Like express how you feel, express what's going on. Like later when your kids get older, they'll be able to read about all of that, because we're dealing with a lot and you have to have some type of way to express yourself.
Right.
You know, you seeing all of the cops killing, you know, these black kids, like people getting arrested. We're dealing with a lot as black people, period. And I just feel like writing would be great right now. It's a great form of expressing yourself and helping you heal. It's just, you know, we just got to stay prayed up, you know, just do the right things and just continue to stand for what's right. And I love that this generation is like, everybody is really like not playing, like they're really standing up and fighting for what's right, and that's equality, and that's what it's about.
Okay, Miss Wright. Now, Professor Nero came in and stole half of the questions that I had for you. However, we will pivot again, and I will allow you the opportunity to basically expand on some of the statements that he made. So as he said earlier, you were incredibly candid and open during the interview that he had with you about childhood trauma and dealing with your mother's addiction and struggling with the death of not only one, but two brothers at the same time. It's almost difficult to imagine that kind of loss. But what I would like for you to do is explain how writing about your trauma has aided you in moving forward and not getting stuck in your pain.
I would say, well, first of all, I'd like to say thank you guys for having me. It's, you know, it's a pleasure, it's an honor to be doing this amongst such amazing people. Mr. Nero is so awesome, like to me and my family, and we really appreciate you. I would say writing for me, that is very therapeutic. Like it, you know, it helps me to heal, you know, things that you can't verbally speak. You know, when writing it, you know, it's another form of expressing yourself. And I truly, you know, always tell my family, like it's difficult to express what you're feeling, but to me it's easier to write it down. Like my paper, like, you know, it helps me to heal. Like that's my healing process. And I always share with them how therapeutic writing is, and it also inspired all of them to want to write and release their pain, because we've been through some things in our lives, like from debt to the, you know, the drug addiction with my parents, the separation of all of my siblings being split up, you know, to losing my two brothers. It's just, it's a lot. And writing has helped us heal, believe it or not.
Let me unmute myself there. I love what you just said about writing has helped your family to heal, and several of your family members are writing and helping others. So my question is that encouraged? I know that you were the catalyst for that, but did you take a stand and encourage your siblings and your other family members to write as a coping mechanism?
Definitely. With my first book, I wrote a book years ago called Priceless Inspirations. As a kid, before like losing my brothers and before becoming so public, I always struggled with expressing myself. So I always had a journal. Like I used to journal my whole teenage years, like going from pillow to post, family member to family member. It was a way to, you know, let out things that I couldn't verbally tell my family. And I never in a million years thought that writing and journaling, that I would someday be a New York Times bestselling author. I turned my journal into a book. So after my family saw that, you know, of course, it inspired them. It motivated them to want to write and share their journey. My mom been through so much more, you know. So her writing and releasing, like through her book, I learned a lot of things about her that I never knew. So it also, you know, it just was a triple effect. Like everybody was like, okay, you inspire me to want to do this. Like I see how you express yourself. I see how much success came from it, how you help people. And I want to do that also. So I encourage everybody, use that pen and paper. We all have a story. Make yours a New York Times bestseller.
Thank you so much for that contribution about journaling. I know oftentimes as an English professor, when we're encouraging students to journal, they're like, I don't have time for this. But I think, coming from you and establishing that foundation of the importance of what journaling can do for us. Even if you feel like you've had a mundane day, you may look back on that day later and realize a significance that it had, in your life. So thank you for that. Recently when your brother, Casey, was released from prison, there was this media blast about that happening. How was that reunion for you and your family?
It was a feeling that I can't explain because, two of my brothers is in prison and two of them are gone. So we spent these years, like even going through the loss of the other two alone. So my mom to actually have her son back, for us to have my brother home, to hold him, to hug him, to love upon him. It was an amazing feeling. And just to welcome him back home, to get him used to like being without them. Like it was tough for him, and it still is to this day, because that was like his best friends. But that's when we all step in and like, help him along the way, like show him the path, like this is the road you need to be on. You have to do things the right way. He also wants to write a book. So, it's another one that want to get into writing, and, I'm encouraging it.
Well, I cannot wait for Casey's book to be published, because I honestly believe that there's a huge audience for that. We have too many men who are incarcerated right now, and they lose family members while they're in there. And there's also the disconnect that even for some of them, when they get out, they don't acclimate to society again, which increases our recidivism rate. But what you all are doing with Casey, embracing him, encouraging him, is just what the young men need. So kudos to you again.
Thank
for
you.
having those strong family ties. And so I want to ask you this about COVID. Right now we're in the midst of a pandemic, and many people are feeling incredibly isolated. I just want to know how you and your family are coping with that.
I would say during this whole pandemic, one thing I have learned is to like just take one day at a time and appreciate the things that you do have, and love up on the people that's still here, because so many people lost their loved ones during this time. So many people were sick and almost on their deathbed. So just to actually be alive and to have, your family and friends and the people who love you around you, love upon them, because life is so short. And it's also taught me like the things that I want to do, go for it. Believe in myself, even more. Like it gave me a push to sit back and just, I went through this phase of just wanting to work. Like, and it, I enjoy working, because that, that helps me provide for my family, opens doors and all of this stuff. But it also made me understand that, that family time and that time with your kids and all of that, those are moments that you can't get back. So you got to equally, divide the time. Like life is so short. Like do a lot of things with your family and slow down, take a minute to slow down and take it all in, because things be happening so fast to where we don't really, appreciate or get to live in that moment, like live in that moment and enjoy while you can, while you're still here. And it also showed me, taught me to give people their flowers while they're here,
That is very important. Thank you for saying that. Give people their flowers while they are here, because it actually takes a spirit of humility to move beyond yourself and actually begin to tell people how they've influenced you, how they've helped you. A simple thank you. I couldn't have done it without you. Goes a long way. It does. And so I have to get all in your business again. I do, because my question is, are you working on anything new? And before you answer that, I just want to interject that I am loving your blouse. I want it. You have such a great sense of style. So as you answer the question about, are you working on anything new? I just want to know, is there a clothing line that is going to be coming out soon with your name on it?
Well, no, I'm not getting into the clothing world. My daughter is actually doing it. Her and my sister team together, and they have a fashion line called Time Girl. I'm actually leaning toward the fitness industry. Me and my fiance, we have a company called Wait No More, and it's helping, the youth in our community fight obesity. So what we do is we have 5Ks for people that are like us, like when you think of a 5K, we get intimidated. You like, I can't run a 5K, but what our 5K is designed for people like us. You can walk, you can run, you can do what you can. It's just encouraging people to get active. We do like a lot of fitness things. We're actually about to release an app on my birthday, October 26th. We're coming out with a new fitness app, the Wait No More app. And we're also doing a double dutch competition, just getting the kids out there, teaching them how to jump. A few of my celebrity friends are teaming up, and we're going to compete against each other. It's like this big competition thing. It's like you don't see kids out there jumping rope anymore, doing fun fit things. So we're trying to bring that back to the front and, just be the face of that. Like, you can go outside and jump rope. It's okay. You can put the phone down, jump rope, have some fun, and you're working out at the same time. So the whole Wait No More movement is just based around fighting obesity and just staying active.
Now I'm really excited. I could use your app. Trust me. I'm one of those people that has a home gym and it's kind of working. Let's see. I hang my shirts on it after I finish ironing, that kind of thing. So I'm really excited about that. And your whole concept of the 5K, I think it's brilliant because it's far less intimidating, for someone thinking, I have to, run that far. Right. So give us the date again when your app will be published.
My app will be published on October 26th on my birthday. That's my birthday gift to the world. I'm releasing this fitness app. But we will also have fitness classes, meal plans, dates that the 5Ks are coming back out, mommy and me classes, dance classes, everything that you can do to be active. But it's not for the average fitness guru. It's people that's trying to get a step in the door into the fitness world. So taking it easy, me, myself, I'm someone that struggles with like consistency with working out and changing my eating habits. So as you watch me, go on that fitness journey and let you know that you are not alone. Like, this is a battle, but it's also a lifestyle. It takes time. It's not easy, but you have to put that one foot forward to get started because health and fitness is very important in our community.
Yes, it is. And I thank you for being gracious enough to actually bless others on your birthday instead of, standing in the seat of saying, come on, bring those gifts to me. How selfless is it to say, I'm going to release this into the world? So we are grateful for you and all that you're doing to counteract obesity, in the community, because it's probably killing more people, and people are passing away prematurely from things that we could actually solve just through healthy eating habits and working out. So Thank you so much. I know you're probably thinking, I've given you a lot of time, but we want to see if there are any questions in the chat and see if anyone has anything to say, and we'll take questions from students at this point. Does anyone have a question? Let's see. Tatiana said it's such a fun idea that you have. That's a great comment. Yes, I think it is fun.
Yeah.
Wow, no questions today. Well, that is amazing, but I think that it's because you've been so thorough in your responses. You really have given us so much valuable information. And I know you're not starting a clothing line, but at least consult with your sisters, okay? Okay. Consult with them. Okay, well, thank you, Miss Wright. Since there are no questions, yes, Michael, I appreciate that. Michael Ward said, thank you for being so open. You were incredibly transparent, and that's something else that we need today in our culture, because that leads us to healing also. Now everybody wants to talk after I tell, oh, Charles Ann, one of my students. She said, thank you, Mrs. Wright. Yes, thank you so much for being gracious with your time.
Thank you.
Well, you enjoy the rest of your day and go love on your family and keep writing. Oh,
Thank
now,
you. I will.
Tracy, I'm sorry, Miss Wright, one question. What are some daily reminders to yourself? Like, I guess your daily affirmations? Yes.
Mhm. I would say I always speak positivity into myself. I wake up, even when it's not so much of a good day, I tell myself, today you're going to have a good day. Today you're going to do this. Even days I don't want to do it, I push myself. Like even on a fitness journey, like I don't want to go on a mountain today, but when I hang up this chat, I'm going to go on a mountain today, So, I mean, you just have to push yourself and speak positivity into the universe. Like, no matter what it is, you have to always tell yourself that you can do it, believe in yourself, and give yourself that extra push.
Myself, you may not be able to see the chat, but Charles Ann says that you are the inspiration for her business. I love that. So, you're touching lives, so many lives that you may never come into contact with these people, but they are very much blessed by what you are doing.
I wish you much success with your business.
Charles Ann, can you tell her what your business is? Or you can put it in the chat or unmute.
Hi, Mrs. Wright. I'm Charles Ann. I'm one of Professor's students currently this semester. My business is called Glam and Glow Makeup by Charlie. And I actually watch you on your show with your brothers. And I think it was your youngest brother that reminded me of one of my brothers. I'm trying to think of his name, but for some reason right now I can't. But he has the chunky cheeks. So you probably know which one I'm talking about, but he was more so of the goofy one. And I saw how you used that to fuel you. And when my dad passed away in 2018, one of his final things was that I do everything that made me happy. So since then, I have been doing that. I hadn't been in school in 12 years, but I was like, I'm going to be a nurse and I love makeup. So I started my makeup company and here I am.
Congratulations on your new business.
Thank you. Rudy.
Success.
Rudy.
Yeah, that was my baby.
We have another question for you, and thank you so much, Charles Ann. Let's see, when writing, do you ever have any reservations about what to share and what not to share? Excellent question.
Yeah, that is an excellent question. In the beginning, I was very I went through these moments of thinking that I was going to be judged because my life wasn't so perfect, and things that was happening at the time was like, oh, do I really want to share this? Do I really want to expose this? So I just found a way to share it, because I feel like when you can be transparent and real, it's more relatable, than trying to hide your truth and make it look pretty when it's not so pretty. So I just started just sharing sharing my truth. Of course, I protect people's, feelings when sharing. So if I have to change a name or something like that to not really expose who is who or what, but I'm definitely going to share my story, because that's my story. That's my life. That's my truth. And I never know who I can help by sharing it. So that's my way of always looking at things. Like when I feel like it's not so pretty, or, when I have to question myself about sharing it, like I'd be like, but I've definitely had those moments of uncertainty, like, should I really put this in here? But this is my life. This is my truth. This is my reality.
So I just go forward with it.
Thank you for that. I would imagine that every writer struggles with that because in the back of your mind, you are concerned about whether or not you will be judged unfairly for certain things that have occurred in your life. But even as you were speaking, all I kept thinking was, God gives us beauty for the ashes. And I think that your story represents that. I mean, look where you are now. And even when you were going through all of that, you may not have seen it, but that beauty was always there. It just had to be unearthed, right? All right. Well, thank you, Miss Wright. It has been an incredible pleasure. I miss my students. I don't think I didn't miss you all today, but this has been an incredible pleasure just to be able to speak with you, one-on-one and to learn from you. I've been so encouraged by you. We learned growing up that there's safety and good counsel, and we should be around wise people. And so I feel like I've been in the midst of wisdom today, and I'm pretty sure the rest of the audience feels the same way.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me. Y'all have a blessed day.
Hello, my name is Phil Smith, Vice Chancellor for Advancement and Executive Director of BRCC Foundation. I want to thank you for joining us today, and for more information, visit www.brccf.org. And remember, dreams do come true.